You're listening to the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Wyatt. Got a question for you. Have you ever heard the term the Mississippi Shuffle? What about the Family Slam? Well, if you don't know, if you listen to this episode, you're going to know what those are today on the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast.
Mississippi Outdoors is sponsored by Entergy Mississippi. Entergy is building a stronger and cleaner grid to power a brighter future and protect our great outdoors for generations to come.
You're listening to the Mississippi Outdoors Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Wyatt. Today, we have the whole family, some on camera, some off camera. The Woodard family, Lakisha and Henry Woodard from Halo Hunting. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for inviting us and having us. We're so excited.
Yes, we're excited to be here and glad, in our state of Mississippi. It's a great thing to be here.
Well, and we're excited enough to be here to drive all the way down here from North Mississippi today, right? Tell us where you came from.
Yeah, we came from near Benton County, Tipper County line.
Yeah.
And so we're here today and we're excited about it.
Made Henry drive the whole way.
Yeah.
That's all right. And you brought your children. Now, we don't have them on camera, but their names are?
We have our oldest here with us is Trinity. We have Harmony and Ezekiel.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. And I got to meet all. And Ezekiel was pretty interested in that 12-point skull that we have over there on the table.
Uh-huh.
So Halo Hunting, that's why you're here. Tell me, sort of, this is the most basic question, and I'm sure you get asked this. What is Halo Hunting?
Halo Hunting is Halo, H-A-L-O, is an acronym for Henry and Lakisha Outdoors, for those who don't know. And you believe it or not, some people don't even realize that's what it stands for until they really think about it. And Henry and I, we chronicle our outdoor adventures, fishing, hunting, whatever it may be outdoors, including our family in also. And we showcased it on social media, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and all of that. And we really just want to show an example of what it means to, get your entire family involved in the outdoors. Henry, you can add to it.
Yes, absolutely. Halo is just about, it's family, it's God-fearing, all-American family-oriented background. We're everyday people that really enjoy the outdoors, and we try to do it as a family. Right. And it's just something that it's our way of life. Before we knew there was anything as a hunting industry or anything, I had a passion. I dedicated my life to God, and I needed something to do that was an activity that was fun and clean, and I wouldn't get in trouble. And I tell you, I found it in the woods of Mississippi.
Isn't that cool? Now, where are y'all from originally?
We're both from Memphis.
Okay,
Tennessee.
from Memphis.
Yeah, we're city slickers that went to the country life. So, we hear about people that, especially where we live, that are trying to leave the country and go to the city. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. Since I left the city, I'm not going back.
That's great. So how did y'all meet though? How far back does that go as a couple?
Wow, it goes back ages. No,
high school sweethearts.
Years ago.
23.
Yeah, think about it.
No.
23 years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Henry, you want to?
Yes. I was in the mall of, that was the
Hickory
Ridge Mall. If any of you are familiar with the Hickory Ridge Mall. And that's where I met Lakisha. I was there with a friend of mine, and it was Lakisha and her sister. And so my buddy, he was like, I believe I was 19 or 20 at the time. And he was like, let's talk to these girls. And I saw him, and he was like, you pick this one, I picked this one. I was like, no, I want to talk to the other one. And so it just so happened that when I went to talk, my friend, he, that's the only way we was going to get it moving. So I had to choose, who he didn't want to talk to. And so when he talked to him, he said, hey, excuse me. Well, the other sister turned around, and Lakisha, so it swapped up right at the moment. Lakisha didn't turn around. And so here I am trying to act like, okay. So I know the whole time my intent is to talk to Lakisha.
Okay.
But I'm trying to play it cool, like, hey, well, these two are getting acquainted. We're standing here. By the way, what's your name?
Oh, by the way.
And that's how I had to play it. And
Okay.
and it's like our personality, our energy, just a beautiful spirit, beautiful heart, as well as on the outside. And that's really what it was that made me know that, hey, this is the one for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that how you remember it?
A little bit, pretty much accurate for the most part. But Henry, like he said, he did, try to pretend that he wasn't interested. And I'm thinking like, okay, you guys are wasting my time. Why am I still standing here? But it's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, however it happened, it worked. I mean, still together after these years. And when did you discover that both of you had an interest in hunting and in the outdoors? When did that become a part of your relationship?
Well, here's the thing. When Henry and I first got married, I had no idea that Henry was really into hunting like he is or was at the time. And, I was a city girl. I like going to the mall, going to the movies, going shopping, everything that girls like to do. Not outdoors, but just city girl.
Not in the woods.
Yeah, there you go. So I had no idea that he was a hunter. And every weekend, Henry, he would go out to the woods, whether he was deer hunting or turkey hunting. And it just became like a broken record, like every weekend. I'm like, what is he doing in the woods every weekend, man? Hunting. And eventually, and I'll let Henry tell his story, how he got into hunting. But eventually, Henry said, you know what, Lakisha, why don't you come and join me on a turkey hunt and come film my hunt for me? And I was like, okay, you know what? If I can't beat him, I might as well join him or just at least go and see what all the hype is about in the outdoors. Yeah. And so Henry, I went out there with him and we were set up in a ground blind. And Henry, he had his diaphragm called mouth call, and he was calling a wild turkey. And this is my first time actually, turkey hunting out in the woods. And I hear a turkey gobble back to Henry's call. And I was like, okay, oh my gosh, like, wow, that was my first time hearing that. And then as the turkey came closer, Henry, he was doing the call. They're going back and forth. The turkey just coming in closer and closer. And I'm just watching the whole thing unfold right in front of my eyes. And the next thing you know, 3, 2, 1, boom, he shot. And it was like, oh my gosh, like it was so exciting. That was really, at that moment, I think from that moment forward, that really was something to see. I never, sometimes when you don't know what is out there or you're not familiar with something, you may be hesitant to want to partake in or participate until you actually get out there and get hands-on to see really what's going on. And then from that point forward, I've really been in the outdoors now. So I'm his favorite hunting buddy. What you say, Henry? He doesn't like going to the woods without me. Like Henry and I, we're like a team. So you get Henry, you get me too.
So were you filming that first
I was. I filmed it and everything. And I was like, okay, I had the camera. I just was like, like I said, this is my first time filming. And he was like, just come and film me. So I had my camera, I'm filming him. And it was just amazing. It was an amazing moment, and just watching that wild turkey come in. And it was just like, just looking at just so majestic and just like, wow, this is a wild turkey out here. We go outside every day. Sometimes if you're not really in the woods or hunting, you may not see wild turkeys in your area. So I really thought that was something. And I think that's what really got me.
And Henry, the rest is history, as they say since then.
The rest is history. She's been hooked ever since.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What, and I guess that would sort of be the genesis, the beginning of what became Halo Hunting, Henry and Lakisha Outdoors, that first trip together?
Correct. That's really where she, I say she really, the passion really happened was in the spring turkey woods. I believe I had taken her deer hunting, but I don't think that is what really did it, but the wild turkey is what did it. And here I am, as Lakisha said, we're from the city, but my dad and even our family farmed in Tunica, and our family heritage goes back generations of farming soybeans in the Mississippi Delta. So even though I was raised in the city, my dad, he would still farm. And so he got me a BB gun when I was 12. And I got in a lot of trouble in the city with that BB gun. and I was banned from shooting it in the city. And so I would go to the farm and shoot. And then even my mom, she would take me fishing at an early age. I can remember it. And that's why I have a weak spot a weak spot in my heart today when I see a kid that wants to hunt and wants to fish. It does something to me because I think that kids need access and opportunity to things like that. And so from there, the hunting and fishing, and of course the turkey story, the truth of the matter is I didn't know about wild turkeys. I really hadn't seen a wild turkey. I was probably at least 18 to 20 years old before I even seen a wild turkey. Matter of fact, I didn't know. I thought maybe they started off as domestic and were released and became wild. But now that I know that God planted them here in North America, I mean, it's an amazing story. It really is.
Yeah, it is. That's cool. And so now, how many years into filming your hunts together and kind of basically producing content together in the outdoors, which has become a whole brand and everything? How many years of that?
I would definitely say, as far as actually putting it on social media and actually filming, I would say maybe, 10 years actually doing branding.
Really? Okay.
Or
maybe I thought I didn't think it'd been quite 10.
Okay, it was 8, maybe between 8. I think it was like 8 or 9.
Between 8.
So
and
getting close to
8,
a decade of it.
Mm-hmm.
And in that amount of time of having those experiences together and creating Halo Hunting. And I even saw you guys have a website, halohunting.com. It's a great looking website.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that you've met people through outdoors and through hunting and through Halo Hunting.
Yes.
That you didn't know before. I'm sure you have.
Absolutely. Wow. We've met so many people, shared so many camps. Man, some of the people we've been around in camps include Ted Nugent. We've hunted with Ted Nugent. Ted is a friend of mine, and we worked together for an organization called Hunter Nation, where we was trying to get hunters just to vote their values, God, family, country. Donald Trump Jr. We did our first national TV appearance on the Outdoor Channel, was on Addicted to the Outdoors with John and Gina Brunson.
Yeah.
And there was a show, and they had couples all across the country. It was called Addicted Couples. And we had people from the Midwest, and out of everyone,
they were auditioning for it.
Yes.
Okay.
Even the teams, So we were kind of like the underdogs. Here we are in Mississippi, and Lakisha, she ends up shooting a nice 10-pointer on.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. Filmed and everything. On that.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was really
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
An awesome hunt.
I'm just seeing the full circle from being invited to come film him. You have that experience to now you're the one. You take the 10-point on national television. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And every time, like I said, I have to give Henry his credit, because we were actually going to, on that day of the hunt where I actually killed that 10-point, we were going to separate and split up. Henry was going to go in one stand and I was going to go in another. But we hunted together in Henry's stand. And so really, if I wasn't there, Henry would have got the big buck.
Right.
But he let me kill his buck. Look, I said his book. I gotta keep his ego going. He let me kill his book.
Yeah, thank you, Henry. Appreciate that. That's great. So and then also like on your YouTube channel, if I go there, I can watch content that y'all are producing yourselves. Like as a family, who's filming, who's editing? How do you pull all that off?
Right. Most of the time we both film, and I do all of the editing. Henry, we like to call each other, I'm the editor, Henry's the producer. Is that how we can do it? Henry's the producer. He pretty much kind of gives a little direction, and he kind of tells me, okay, do this and do this. And, I go and edit it the kind of the way he likes or whatever. Okay. And we both are creative. So, and we're, like I said, Henry, he's really creative. We're both creative, and we kind of collaborate. And then, everything we needed was in the house. I had no idea that I would be able to, work those systems, editing software and all of that. So it was pretty awesome.
And let me say something right now that I found out. There's a lot of people that are waiting for opportunities or waiting for things to happen. I found out that everything that you need, God has already equipped it in you, and you just have to find out what that thing is, because I never knew that Lakisha could do those things. I never, I'm a guy. I didn't like taking pictures and, these kinds of things. And so it's amazing how, how God, he blessed me with 3 daughters and 1 son. One, she's 21. She's out of the nest now. But we decided to go to conventions. Let's find out what's going on at the NWTF, what's going on at the SCI, and so we went, and it was such a welcoming community. And so that's really what it was. It was about, just taking the first step and going out, and you find out that it's an awesome community, really.
And I want to add to that, like Henry said, no one actually never told us, okay, here's the NWTF, there's the SCI, this is what you have to do. We actually, before social media really just took off, and Facebook, Instagram, and all that really took off, we really had to kind of navigate and find those things out for ourselves. So
I've heard the saying before that success follows passion. Meaning, you get passionate about something and you dive off into it. Sounds like that's what you're saying is, and in today's world, especially young people, everybody wants to be a content creator, a YouTuber, and maybe there's somebody out there with the idea that, hey, one day my phone's going to ring. It sounds like what you're saying is, no, find something you enjoy doing and dive into it, stick your neck out there. Don't wait for the phone to ring, sign up for the convention and go, which is what you did.
Exactly. That passion is the next word. That was my next word that I was going to use. It started with the passion. And when you have a passion for something, it's not work. You really enjoy doing it. You find energy. You can be working a 9 to 5, a midnight shift. And when you have that passion, and from that passion, you get that vision, I mean, it's an amazing thing. It really is.
Yeah. What, okay, so on that note, I'm sure we have somebody listening that's thinking, wait, do they do this full time? So is this a full-time job for you?
I wish it was, but not right now. We still have a 9 to 5 that we have to do, and
right.
So no.
Yeah. I said it is a full-time job. I say my 9 to 5 is my part-time. No.
I understand. A lot of people understand.
Yeah. As far as we're not at the point financially where we can just say, hey, halo hunting is all that we do for a living. We would love to be at that point, but not right now financially.
Gotcha. All right. So there were a couple of terms that you and I discussed before we started recording. One of those I had on some notes I read about you called the Family Slam. All right. So what is the Family Slam? Okay.
The Family Slam is a coin that me and Lakisha, a term that me and Lakisha coined. Hunting is not a selfish sport. It's really not. It's a heritage. You pass down a heritage. It's something that you share and that you spread. And if I hadn't ever, allowed Lakisha to hunt with me and to shoot that buck, we wouldn't be where we are today. And so because of that, we began to hunt as a family. And I thought about, since turkey hunting is a passion of ours, you have the Grand Slam and all these kinds of slams, which is something that we're still working on. But I thought about, let's do something as a family. If I did shoot, all these types of turkeys, at the end of the day, I'm just a man, with bragging rights. And some of those guys that do that are wondering like, man, why can't I get my wife? Well, they have to be a part of it. And so me and Lakisha, what the Family Slam means, it doesn't take, you don't have to take all the subspecies of turkeys that we have. What it is about is when your whole family, your whole nuclear family, the man, the woman, and all the kids shoot a turkey.
Okay.
And so in our household, everyone has taken a wild turkey. So it's 6 of us. And last season, everyone in our household actually took a wild turkey in the state of Mississippi. And we filmed it,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I filmed of it also.
Yeah. Yes.
All in the same season.
Yeah. So it's it didn't start off like, we was like, okay, we're going to do this thing. No, it started off, well, my youngest shot her turkey first. And then I believe it
9.
was, yes. It was my son, and then we just kept on going, and I'm like, wow, we're having a heck of a turkey season. I'm like, the whole family is about to do this, and so the last one was my daughter Trinity, and boy, it took a lot.
Oh yeah,
but she endured. She endured, and it was like the greatest celebration, and it was something special. It's not something that we're going to try to do every year, but it just kind of happened, and it's just it really set us apart, as an American family where everyone in the household has taken a wild turkey.
That's really cool. The family slam. Now, what I know a lot of times siblings, and I had one sister, those that have had brother sisters, there's always some competitiveness. So was there some competition maybe among the kids, or is there when the family slam gets talked about?
Well, in terms of competition, I think it's more so how many turkeys have you killed compared to how many turkeys I've killed.
Okay, right.
It's always one. I'm not going to say any names, but there's always one who says, well, I killed 2. You only killed 1, So I think that really makes the other ones really want to get out there. Okay, I can do that too. Just watch. So
that's great.
So the year before, my son had killed his turkey, and I think he was 9.
9.
And we talked about it. We're like, son, you probably the youngest one in our family genealogy. You has taken a wild turkey. Well, our daughter, she ended up taking it at what age?
She was
she was 9. Maybe he was 10. That's what it was.
So she was a year younger.
Yes. And so the first thing he said was like something about who holds the record or something, or he said something about that, about holding the record, because he for the book or something. It was something that he said, but you can kind of tell, he was trying to see, like, do I still got that record?
Right, because he was 9 when he shot his first buck.
Yeah.
And so he
she may have been 10. And I don't know. We can't. We gotta look at it. But he was trying to check the record.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna correct us after these.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they'll correct you and let you know when you leave. And what was the other term? I think you said the Mississippi Shuffle.
Mississippi Shuffle. Tell me about the Mississippi Shuffle.
All right.
Okay, the Mississippi Shuffle is when you see a turkey and they're out there. Then next thing you know, you show them the gun, and boom, you kill the turkey, and then it's a celebration dance that we do after the kill.
Yeah, so it's so the Mississippi Shuffle, it is a dance as well as like when they see a decoy, then all of a sudden the decoy goes away and they see the gun. So that's the Mississippi Shuffle. So we use that term. We'll say, hey, we put the Mississippi Shuffle on a long beard.
Whatever
you know what I mean?
It is.
Yeah, whatever state it is, we can put the Mississippi Shuffle. I don't care where you at. Montana, we'll put the Mississippi Shuffle in Nebraska.
Oh yeah,
Florida, anywhere. And so sometimes we get people to join in and dance and do the Mississippi Shuffle dance with us as well.
Yes,
that's great. Has Ted Nugent done the Mississippi Shuffle?
No, he hadn't done
next.
it.
We got to get
he's next. I talked with him. I was talking about going to his place and try to get some Rios, so we might have to get him to do the Mississippi Shuffle.
Yeah, so if anybody out there comes hunting with us or turkey hunting, be prepared to do the Mississippi Shuffle.
Okay, and is there an example of the Mississippi Shuffle like on the YouTube channel? Can I see it?
Yes, there is an example of the Mississippi Shuffle on our YouTube. It sure is.
Now, who came up with that first, though?
So before. Once again, I didn't know everything about turkey hunting. Pretty much was experimental and it wasn't self-taught. So I remember having a decoy, and I left Lakisha hunting one day.
Oh yeah.
And I told her I was gonna go around the corner and try to see if I can strike up a bird.
Now why would he do that to some? And I really wasn't hunting that much yet.
And I mean, she wasn't. She didn't know what to expect. She was like, "You're gonna leave me?"
Yeah.
And so she was kind of tucked in some bushes, and as I walked away, a gobbler comes right up to the bushes, gobbling his head out right behind her.
Is that right?
Yes. And so she I come back and I don't see nothing. She like, trying to tell me it's a turkey.
I'm giving him hand signals.
Yeah.
And he was like, 10? I'm like, no. Like, I'm trying to tell him to stop because there was a turkey just right behind me right before he was walking
this means stop,
back.
not 10.
Yeah. And so the turkey actually is crawling away. And so I just decided to get that decoy and start crawling. I didn't know anything about reaping. I hadn't heard anything like that, or however they called it. So I'm crawling with this turkey.
I'm behind him, crawling.
And this turkey,
with the camera.
And this turkey turns around and heads towards my way, and I shoot the turkey, and I'm so excited. I'm like, yes, I'm like, yes, I'm out of breath. And I said, we put the Mississippi Shuffle on them.
So it just came out.
That's how it came out.
That's great.
Just like that.
That was an epic
That's
hunt.
the only way I could describe. We put the Mississippi
Yes.
Shuffle on them.
I'll
That's
never
great.
forget that.
Sometimes those best ideas, they just happen.
Yep.
You didn't have to spend a week coming up,
No.
with a marketing team.
Right.
That's really, really good.
Exactly.
What's next if you were to, again, maybe not quite a decade into the growth of halo hunting. If you look over the next 5, 10, the next decade, your kids are going to grow up and go through high school. Like, what's next down the road? What do you want it to see for halo hunting? And as a family, kind of, what do you think's next?
All right. One of the next things that we really have planned that we're wanting have just started this year actually is we just started a nonprofit organization called Halo Bridge Outreach Foundation. And with this foundation, we are wanting to introduce inner city youth to the outdoor lifestyle and teach them the basic skills necessary for hunting, firearm safety, and just to be self-sufficient. And all of those things together is going to empower them to be good stewards of the land, just having a closer relationship to the outdoors. And then at the same time, they're going to learn self-esteem, responsibility, mental health. All those things are going to play a part in it. So that is the next thing that we're wanting to do is to get that more active. Like I said, we just started it this year. And so hopefully, we're going to have some good times with it and getting those kids introduced to the outdoors.
Yes, we want to be a bridge because sometimes kids don't know how to get started as far as the hunter education aspect of it. They don't know where to go. So my family doesn't have land. How do I get to the land? Finding out about public land, about the resources that the state of Mississippi has to offer. And so we want to be that educational, we want to be able to, that bridge to point them to the right direction, because a lot of times, let's say you didn't grow up in a hunting background. I'm going to give you one personal that I never said before. So I had this story that happened when I went deer hunting with some of my uncles and cousins for the first time. Well, I had on these big hunting gloves, deer hunting gloves. And so I got up and I was in these bushes. And as I got up, boom, and the gun goes off. Thankfully, no one was in the way. But this is what the family don't know. They always try to give me a hard time about it. It was one of my family members that told me. He was like, boy, you got that gun on safety? I was like, yeah. He said, boy, I never keep my gun on safety. I keep it on fire so I can be ready to shoot at any time.
Okay. You got some bad advice.
So I got some bad advice. You can get some bad advice not knowing the rules. I've seen some things when I first started that I thought was normal. At the time in Mississippi, it was before they had the supplemental feeding. The first guys that I ever saw hunting, oh man, they had it. They had yellow gold. I'm talking about it was piled up, and I thought that was what you were supposed to do. So it's a lot of education and resources that kids need. So when they have a let's say an incident with law enforcement, it's not a bad first time experience. But instead of looking at them as as here comes Mr. Green Jeans, they'll look at them as well, I'm glad that that you're watching my property from potential trespassers or this or that. So we want them to start off a good relationship.
Sure. And tell me the name again.
It's Halo Bridge Outreach Foundation. It's a 501c3 organization.
If there's anyone listening that wants to connect or learn more about it or maybe help or just, contact and ask questions about that, because it's such a phenomenal idea and what you're doing, how do they find you and get in touch?
All right. You can reach us on, you can message us on Facebook, or you can go to our website at www.halohunting.com. You can also email us at halohunting@yahoo.com. So you can reach out via email also, or just send a message to us and we'll try to respond back as soon as we can. But we have some great expectations for this nonprofit organization, and we're expecting to do some big things. And we already have some some plans that we're really looking forward to and excited about. So stay tuned.
And it really is a phenomenal idea. I didn't know about it prior to getting to talk to y'all today. I know there will be people listening that will want to learn more and maybe reach out. And Henry, it almost sounds like, it's something, that bridge idea, that's sort of a bridge that you crossed over at one point.
Yes.
From, your upbringings, living in the city. Of course, you had, a family who farmed.
Right.
But I get the sense that your idea is that there are probably lots of other kids that may be in the same shoes you were that would love to cross over that same bridge that you did.
Yes, absolutely. Because, even though we did have a farm, one day my dad, he was talking to me when me and my brother killed our first whitetail. And he said, and my dad, like I said, always hard working. He was doing 2 jobs, farming and another job. And so he said, son, y'all did something that even your dad hadn't done. My dad grew up on the farm, and he said he had never taken a whitetail before. And so it's just a great thing, just looking at where I come from, my roots, and here we are now. I'm able to teach people about hunter safety. Me and my wife were able to do seminars, and we even do public speaking as well at churches and wild game dinners and things of that sort. So it's just amazing, and I'm proud that the opportunity has come to us.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate y'all coming here today to be on the show. The stories are wonderful. You're such an unbelievable example, I think, to a lot of people, and especially young families. And just thank you for what you do. Wish you success. And thanks for giving us a little peek into what Halo Hunting is and who y'all are as a family. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you for having us as well.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed that with Lakisha and Henry Woodard. Halo Hunting. Check them out at halohunting.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you outdoors.